Now, what is way more interesting than playing around with files is interacting with information on the internet. So I'm going to go through a little exercise to consume an API endpoint. So that we can get some data and do some stuff with it. And the reason that we're going to do that, or that I'm going to show you, is so that you can get in your stock program actual live data, because now the stock program is just reading from a hash map. So the prices aren't live, but it is possible to do such a thing, except I deleted it, didn't I? Delete. There are APIs online. I'm going to suggest one particular one that you can use to get up-to-date, real-time stock prices. And there's loads of APIs. So the one that I'm going to play with is I'm going to try and make this little thing that will find lyrics. That will find songs based on certain phrases. Okay, so it's going to be like, given a phrase, well, we'll start with a word. Given a word, we'll say phrase. Given a phrase, find the songs that contain it. I was just thinking, when it's like a friend's birthday and you want to put like a song on their Facebook or something, it might be good to be able to get the songs that are related to like a specific in-joke you have with them or something. Oh, the important work of the days. So I found this thing already, Lyrics API, Music Match Developer. Okay. So supposedly with this thing you're able to search for and get any sort of lyrics, and there's lots of different ways to do this. So see, when you see an API, you kind of got to get a feel for it, and then it sort of usually looks a little bit like a Java doc, but a little bit different. But what it's telling me here is that the current version is here, so I'm just going to go there and see what happens. And it's saying 401, so that means that I don't have access. Unauthorized. So as it is most of the time, you need an API key, and I've already kind of in here and signed up for one. I'm just going to grab it before I forget. So I had to give them all my information, my phone number, they're going to be calling me, and my email address and whatever, so that I could get this treasured API key. You need to be careful not to share these with people. Y'all, I'm really gonna just okay. Now, whenever you use an API like Google Maps or whatever, you're always going to need an API key. And this one, I chose it because it's simple to use. We don't have to do any special authentication using HTTP headers. We can just jam this into the URL string, and I'll explain kind of a little slower what I'm talking about in a minute. But this is a query string. You would have like API key, and then you have these pairs. You probably see these things from being around on the internet. But sometimes you have like a question mark, and then there's a bunch of things, and then there's an and, and then each of those is a thing that you're querying. It's your request. Okay, 400. I think this is just malformed because I'm not using the right thing. But let's see if I can go into their overview and get a bit more information. So we get to be down in the developers section. Yeah. Oh yeah, here's where they have their general. So here, integrate music match service with your website application. In most common scenarios, you need to implement two API calls. The first one is to match your catalog to ours. So there's a search thing, and the second is to get the lyrics. All right, I'm gonna look at track search. Okay, so all of these are parameters, and I can just jam them into my string and possibly mess it up, but you know, I'll just play for a second and see what happens. Any word in the lyrics. Let's just try that, see what happens. Okay, it's still not right. Oh, yes, so there's supposed to be something there. This is track.search. So here's an example. If you want the top 3 tracks of Justin Bieber, really, come on. You gotta go like that. Okay, I'm just gonna copy that. See if I can get it to work with my API key. So, well, let's see what happens if I just do that. Unauthorized. See what happens if I put my API key in. Hey! Oh, look, okay. Ed Sheeran, just, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so these are some tracks, presumably the top 3. And this is JSON. This is a special format. And this is actually some pretty dang messy JSON. It's not formatted, so usually it looks, you can see the indentation and stuff. I think maybe I'm gonna just see if I can format JSON. My boyfriend's called Jason, so I'm always telling him like how hard he is to parse. Yes, okay. So this has indented it all for me, and it also has this little thing so I can drill down to the stuff that I want, and that's going to help me because I'm going to have to get my code to, well, put all this stuff together wherever it was. It's gone now because I typed in it, to put this this URL together, and then also to do something with this data when I get it back, this JSON data. Alright, so I'm going to start with the very beginning. Let's see if I remember how to do this. So let's say we have a string for the, let's just call it the root URL, and then set it to the beginning stuff that was here, set track search. Yep, in there. Okay, so now we're going to want to construct the rest of the query. Let me just print this out so I can keep it going on in there, and then maybe I can practice. I want to keep that one. Oh, no. Print it out. Okay, just see if I got that part right. Is that a real place? Unauthorized, yes. Okay, so I'm going to start putting together my other stuff. So let's say root, and let's also add API key, and then equals, and then actually my API key. Oh, I should have made this static because it's constant. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Okay, I don't think this really makes sense because it doesn't have the query in it. Oh, all right. We might have gotten just a whole bunch of junk in there. Cool. Wrap, whatever. Various tracks. Okay, but I did want to use that query thing that I found. Q, it was like a Q lyrics. There. Okay. Up. You can be at the top. now I'm just going to put jam sandwich. I don't know if there's anything. We'll see in a second because I'm going to grab this. Oh, it hasn't encoded that. Let's just look for jam. No likey. Oh, wait, there's something missing there. There's an ampersand is supposed to be in there, so that it knows that it's the API key has ended and we're looking at something else. It's a new parameter. So actually, you know, I have practiced this already, but if I was doing this from scratch, I could be using this thing called Postman, or I was actually super legit using Everest, which you might remember from Java 1. Everest, where are you at? So the purpose of Everest is to help you debug these sorts of requests. So I could have just put this in there instead. Ooh. See, there's the thing that I had in it already. Happy birthday. And the JSON still looks pretty damn bad. See, if this was something else, like I was looking into using Spotify earlier. See, it's usually nicely formatted like this. And this is the one that I was testing for stocks. Alpha Vantage. These might have been bad attempts. Well, I don't think there's really any point in waiting for this stuff, except to show you that it usually looks like this, so you wouldn't need to go online to format it. Anywho, what am I doing here? Okay, I'm just checking that this actual string does something. That this is the right string to put my request together. And it seems to be working. Okay, so next I have to actually connect from my Java to the interwebs. And you do that by turning this into a URL. I'm going to call it the request. And the reason it needs to be a URL, you'll see in a second, it's going to have to connect. Am I doing something wrong here? Just keep going. Okay. I'm going to throw that. Okay, so now we have a URL. You can do stuff like connect, open connection. Okay, that's actually going to give me back a connection. Okay, and then I think we might be at the point where I'm going to print the stuff. Connect, maybe. IOUtils is from commons.io. Doesn't like that. It wants an input stream. Does it want this? Oh, it wants a, right, not applicable for your, it wants an input stream. Okay, so I need to get an input stream instead. So let's see what I can get from this URL. Input stream, open stream. Okay, I think that's what I'm supposed to do instead. So let's try this. And throw. it says that it doesn't like that. And it definitely doesn't look totally right, especially the space over here. I'm going to take that out for the moment. So spaces, they don't belong in there. I'll show you how to encode it later if I remember. Okay, so it's printed stuff out, but it hasn't actually done anything. Okay, so it's time to start to try and get some information out of this. I thought that I might be in a good place to do it there, but oh, actually, so this returns a string. I'm just hoping it's going to give me a response. So that previous line wasn't actually doing anything in terms of output. Oh, right. Okay, this looks groovy, apart from it's all on one dang line. But here is my response. Okay, so Dumb, Fat and Gross is the first track with the lyric sandwich in it. Exciting. Yeah, you can do so many cool things with these. There's like, man, once you get on this, you can do all sorts of mashups and things, very essential things like Chuck Norris quotes, Tronal dump, archive of the dumbest things Trump has ever said, you know, productivity tools. The reason I'm in here is just to show you that there's APIs for everything, and I'm excited that you guys now have this tool at your fingertips. After a few lines of code, bashing your head against the computer desk. Okay, what am I trying to do? Okay, now I have all this JSON, so what you don't, well, I just want to get to this track name, so I'm just thinking like I could do a quick and dirty, just hop over there in the string, but that wouldn't be teaching you the right thing to do. So I'm going to show you how to parse JSON. Parse JSON Java. Okay, I've already chosen the tool that I want to use. And there's a few different libraries, and the one that I was using is at json.org. Well, it's not here, but if I look for the Maven repository, Maven, json.org. Yes, okay, so this is it, org.json. Now, I'm in here looking for the dependency. Hopefully you'll remember that the dependency is what I need to put in my POM so that I can use this JSON library. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of options. These are the dates on which these were released, and kind of like if you're torrenting, like I'm going to go for one that's not super fresh, like only has 16, I'll just go a year back to this one. Well, I'm sure it's fine, but grab that, put it in my POM. See, you put all the dependencies together like that underneath in between the dependencies tags. Okay, now in the background, magically, that is downloading. So I'm just going to check and see if it's on my build path. Not yet. Okay, if I wanted to hurry a little along, sometimes I could do build, and then I can see it doing whatever it's doing over here. Sometimes it'll say like downloading stuff or whatever. Okay, see, JSON's there, ready to use. Okay, now, if I were you guys, I'd probably be here looking for some examples. Parser example, but you want to make sure to get the right one. So Google also have one that's real popular called JSON. That's JavaScript. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do it because I actually know. There's some JSON. This is legit. JSON object. Okay, yeah, this is creating a JSON object for going the other way. This is reading JSON. This is from a file, but obviously we don't have a file, but we still have JSON. So you got the object, and then it's kind of like a hash map where you can get the stuff out. And the keys are those things. So I'm going to get my JSON object. This is going to be the root, and then make one with the response, which is a bunch of JSON. But I'm going to try and spell it right. Okay. The reason I'm calling it the root is that these JSON objects, so let's see, where is my nice formatted JSON? Here it is. So these are kind of inside of each other. So I'm just trying to get down to this track name, and to do that I have to go into the message container, and then I gotta go into body, and then I gotta go into track list, then I go into track, and I gotta go all the way down to track names. This is gonna be a little it's going to be a little tricky, but I kind of see these. So this is a JSON object that is holding all the rest of this stuff. So you got message, that's one JSON object that's holding all of that, and then inside of there you have another one that's holding all that. But sometimes if there are things like this, that's an array, so that's a JSON array, and it's easier to handle it like that. Because there's more than one item underneath with the same name. Okay, so I'm going to just start getting these. Oh yeah, Russian nesting dolls. This is an easy way to picture it. Okay, there, see all those JSON objects in there, inside of each other. Okay, so I'm going to just see what I got now. I don't know if this is going to print out anything useful for me, but yes, actually it is. And I'm going to stop printing out the response there. So in the next step, I'm hoping to get down to, actually leave it because it might kind of jump in nicely. I'm hoping to get down to this, so I want to get down to header. So let me try doing root.get and then the key message. Okay, excellent. That's what I've got there. So I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to call it message. We're in one level, and this is going to be a little other nesting doll. But if I didn't know, I could do this. This is what I've been doing when I've playing around with this stuff. So message.get class will tell me the type it is. See, it's a JSON object. So that's what I'm going to set it to. Okay, and it's complaining it wants a cast. Okay, so we haven't done anything there except set this to a variable. And I cast it because I'm going to want to do message.get, and if it was just a regular object, then I wouldn't be able to do that. Okay, so now we're here, that's message. Now I want to go down to the next level, header. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to go message.get, and then I'm going to go header. And let's print that out one down, so I'm keeping track of all these things in stages. This is definitely a little involved because I have to go down so many steps. Okay. So now we're having, see, available. This is good. I think we didn't want to go into header actually. Let me look. Okay, yeah, so header's got all that junk I don't want. I wanted to go into body. So instead of header, let's do body. Excellent. All right, track list. So I'm going to make this into something, into a local variable, and it's going to be called body. Okay, Okay, now let's see what it is, so I can properly cast it. It is a JSON object. Cool. Body. Okay, so can you see how it's kind of, I'm drilling down each step. So now it looks like I've got track list coming next. Okay, so let's do print, and then this time we're going body. So I'm taking the last one that I got because it's drilled down a bit. And the next thing I want is track list. Yes, okay, we're down a little bit more. So track list, it looks like, is there's more than one, and then we're going to get down to track, but let's see what it is. Okay, cool. So it's actually a JSON array, and I was guessing that it might be because you can say track list colon, and then you've got the square array brackets. Those are the same as in an old school array in Java. Okay, so I'm going to extract this to a local variable. And it's track list. And I know because this guy told me that it's a JSON array. By the way, when I'm doing that auto import, I'm doing Windows Shift O, and that automatically puts your imports up in there, so you don't have to wait for the quick fix. All right, track list, got you. Next. What do we want after that? We want, oh, we actually want a something. So let's just get, so this is now, because track list is a JSON array, we want to get an index. So 0 is just going to be the first one. Okay, now see the way the square brackets is gone? That means I'm just looking at 1 here. First track, what are you? Okay, back to a JSON object. Okay, you won't have to do this many levels when you're doing the stock market thing, I promise. First track, and now, what do we want? Track. Okay, I want the infos. Yeah, I want the track name. So track name. Thanks for the help, but no thanks. No likey, no track name. Did I mess that up? First track.get track name inside of track. First track.get track name. Oop, no. Check name not found. Oh, no, that's right. Oh dear. Yes, okay, I'm not quite there. I still have to go into track. Track list. Yeah, so this is actually the track details I have now. And guess what it is? It's probably going to be a JSON object. Okay, Thank you for your patience. We're getting there. I'm making this look easier than it is. So sometimes, you know, it's kind of hard to find what you're looking for in here, and then also the structure of it. But if you follow my method that I'm doing here with take it one step at a time, print out each step, and then the thing that I was doing there, which was checking the type of the object. That should help. Don't find it gross. Okay, there's my track name. Yeah. Alright, so I have this stuff being in here, doing this stuff. If I wanted, I could make this into a method so that you can see where I might use it outside. I'm just gonna do it like this. I'm kind of sad that I didn't keep lyrics out of there. And then I also wanted to return. That's the song. Print it out there. Return it here. Wants to be cast. Doesn't know it's not a JSON object, it's really a string. Okay, shouldn't see any difference. I was just pulling that out so that it makes it a bit clearer. So now I can put whatever I want here. Rockstar by Post Malone has Pop-Tart in it. Let's see. Navel gazing. Okay, there's an exception. If I wanted to be super cool, I would. Where's that line? So here it's like song finder, this line. We don't really want it to throw a nasty old exception, so we could do this. Now I'm going to use the automagic. Show you the proper way to do it. Ooh, wow, that's not what I wanted. I'll move that line. Oh, that other thing that I'm doing is to remove a line, I use Windows key D, which would also be Mac key D. That's super useful. I'm going to surround this with a try catch. And then it's going to get all cranky because the rest of the stuff doesn't work anymore. But this would have to be all the way down there. So at the point, no, you know what? I'm just going to do it kind of a nasty way, but this is not what we're about just this very moment. So I'm going to print to the error stream. Or exit or something, I forget. Okay, this is ugly. I usually wouldn't do this, but let's see if it will work for my June spoon so it doesn't all blow up. No songs about June spoon. Sad face. But I actually, that red is so this is kind of an expected thing. So I'm gonna not make it red. Okay, and I'm gonna get rid of these printouts. They were just to help me debug as I was going. Okay. that's how you might talk to the internet via an API. The world is your oyster. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to convert the stock filter project to using live data from the internet. In the meantime, before I go, there was one more thing that I wanted to do. So yeah, jam. 400, bad. Okay, that means it did need likey because it's got that space in it. So what we have to do is we need to encode it. Let's see, so we gotta do encoder. Encoder, yes, there we go. Encode lyrics. Now what that's going to do is it's going to take out the space and it's going to put in that weird stuff that you see up there. Like these, like a percentage and a 2 and a 0. That's what you have instead of a space. That's encoded. Okay, it's being cranky about this deprecated thing because we're probably supposed to do something else. Let's see. So these are okay, that's a warning, but I don't like to have that in showing you how I'm doing it. Okay, so it wants the encoding, which is going to be UTF-8, standard thing. Let's see if I get this right. Okay. Funk sandwich. It's a real, oh my god. All right, now that we've got that, I want to also add the singer. Let's see, where am I going to get that info from? Let's see here. Track name. Who's the singer? Artist name. Oh my goodness, we definitely don't want to check that one. Is that for jam sandwich? Because we can't have that printing out on my screen. It's much too delicate. Let's change this to Panda. Oh no, my new favorite thing is a Jaja. Is there any songs about a Jaja? There is! Oh, there's the singer. Okay, I'm going to take us out with a little bit of that. Let's put a thingy in there. Line space. Carlos Gardel. Alright. I have my sound off, but that's what I'm going to be listening to now. As you guys just spin up your work and start to try and make sense of all of that with your stock filter project. Good luck. Enjoy.